I heard that you and your husband both work jobs, right, Tina? Good evening, Lori. We do both work at the same time, but what does that have to do with you? I feel so sorry for you guys. That must mean that one or both of you doesn't bring in enough income for your family, right? What are you talking about right now? I'm not wrong, am I? If your husband was able to work a job that allowed him to support both you and him, he wouldn't be asking for you to work as well, right? So if he's not able to bring in that kind of money, does this mean that your husband is at the lowest position in the company he works for? I should have known that you'd start to be rude to me again today. I'm sorry, Lori, but this time your hopes of my husband being garbage or something like that won't be coming true. My husband is neither working in the lowest position within the company, nor is he making a salary that can't support the both of us. Is that what you think then, Tina? Because I'm not sure you're 100% aware of everything going on with him. I think I am aware, considering I'm his wife. But one thing that I'm not aware of is just how much he's making. What? In other words, your husband is not willing to tell you the amount he's making? Are you sure that he's not trying to hide something very important from you there? I don't have a good feeling about any of that. The way he's hiding the amount he makes from you, it tells me that he's not making enough money right now. Well, he and I have a way of living our lives that's probably different from yours, so please don't feel obligated to say anything else about it. And know that he's not trying to hide anything from me. And another thing, the reason I'm working a job is because I like the company I work for and want to continue being a part of them. And if something were to happen in our lives that needed one of us to stop working, I feel we'd both continue to be financially safe. What are you going on about? I know that it must be so difficult for you two to live as moneyless lowlives. Can you please stop acting as though he and I are without money right now? So you guys aren't going to be having a wedding because of your tight pockets right now? What? We still plan to have our wedding. You should have already gotten the invitation in the mail about our wedding coming up soon, right? Oh, that was meant to be a serious invitation? I thought that you and your husband were just trying to play around with us. What do you mean by that, Lori? Well, the fact that you're both moneyless yet are planning to have a wedding at the wedding hall as gorgeous as that is just a dead giveaway that you're joking about the wedding. Do you think you'll have the money to afford a place like that? That invitation was not sent out to everyone as some sort of prank. And as for getting a reservation at a place like that for the wedding, we happened to get some help from one of my husband's friends from his work. He was able to get us a spot at a place as beautiful as that, so both my husband and I are really looking forward to our special day. Well, it would be just wonderful if you guys could end up actually giving that wedding. It would be just fantastic to see two moneyless losers become happy at a wedding like that. Could you please start lightening up on the amount of insults you throw at us? Now, thank you for texting me today. I have work to get back to, so I'll be going.
Are you actually planning on having this wedding?
What? Now even you're going to start talking to me about my wedding?
Well, if you're hoping to get any money or gifts from us, then you should stop all of that. Hearing about some moneyless lowlives like you guys throwing a wedding is crazy. Not even I am able to imagine what one would have to do to borrow enough money for a place like that.
Hold on, Wyatt. Why are you saying rude things like that now? This to me looks like a textbook case of your wife brainwashing you, but she really did a number on you making you talk that way about me and my husband. I do remember you and Lori never coming to meet my husband before we were married, but still.
Well, from what I can see, whatever money you do have left is going to be wasted on that wedding if you go through with it. Well,
why are you saying that? Even my husband said that he really wants to talk with you.
I don't have the time or want to talk with someone like him about anything. I already know for a fact that man of yours is good for nothing. just based off the fact that he's making you work a job as well instead of being his housewife. I feel as though your marriage isn't going to make it very far, so there's no point in me wasting time getting to know him. When a man has little money, their chances of being divorced go way up. So I'm betting that'll be coming really soon for him.
You're being a jerk right now, Wyatt. It's fine with you giving small jabs at us here and there because you're my brother, but recently you've really been taking it too far. Ever since you ended up marrying that Lori chick, you've changed for the worst. For now, can you at least try and hide that ugly face of yours until after we have our wedding? Because if you come to the wedding acting like that, you'll regret it more than you'll find it acceptable. Today's the day of your wedding, right, Tina? But unfortunately for you, my husband and I do not have the time to be coming to a wedding for two measly lowlifes right now. What? I know it's only a few minutes before the start of your wedding, but we're canceling. What are you going on about now, Lori? I'm talking about how my husband and I will both be taking the day off from your wedding. We feel that being there to give you guys money or a gift would be a huge waste of our own time and money. What? So you want to tell me that right now of all times? I know that you're having a great time telling me that right before the start of my special day, but you're going to regret not showing up today. Well, both Wyatt and I do not want to attend the wedding of a couple of losers. I know it's only a few minutes out, but he and I are canceling. Then you're no longer allowed inside the wedding hall anymore. I was never planning on coming. And when I say you're no longer allowed in, I mean that very personally. Even if you do come out here and try getting in through the doors, we'll have them locked. Just as you've said yourself, there is no need for a couple like you to be here at a loser's wedding to give them any gifts or money. So don't worry about the late notice. Goodbye. What the heck, Tina? Is your wedding already started now? What is it that you want from me now? The wedding is already starting, so please don't waste any more of my time. Right now, both Wyatt and I are coming out there. We'll be at the wedding hall in a little bit here. Even if the two of you are crying your hearts out to be let into the wedding hall today, I'll make sure that you're both kept outside. Huh? Why would you do that? It hasn't even been an hour yet since I told you that I'd never be letting you into the wedding hall, and you've already forgotten that? You told me you were fine with that, and that's why you're not going to be let in now. So please, stay the hell away from here. That's not what any of this is about right now. Things have changed for the both of us. Wyatt just received a call a little bit ago from his boss. Oh, well, I was thinking about how something like that would probably happen soon. My husband is the CEO of a very well-regarded company, and a lot of other companies' leaders are at the wedding right now. And my brother's company is a partner to my husband's, and so a lot of his company's higher-ups are here right now attending the wedding. Why did you never tell either one of us something as important as that before? Normally anyone would say something like that to everyone around them. And right now, information like that is the most important thing for my husband and I to know about. Why is it that important for you two to know? Because those leaders, his bosses, are the ones that will be promoting him soon to a much better position. And all of them being at the wedding today means he'll have the perfect chance to sit down with them all and talk more about personal things, right? Well, from what I've heard, this was supposed to be the perfect occasion for both my brother and my husband to talk over different things regarding their partnership, right? What? Well, that's just too bad now. We've already told everyone that you both looked down on us, thinking we were without any money, so those talks won't be happening. You're telling me that the CEO of the company that my husband's been working with wanted to talk with him today? That means today is the only chance for Wyatt. You let us into that wedding hall right now. But I already told you it's too late now. Why is it too late? You must really not be aware of the problems you've created for yourself with the way you've treated my husband and I, huh? The CEO of the company that Wyatt's been working with this whole time is the same man you both continued to call a lowlife and moneyless for making me work a job as well while married. But at the time, I had no clue about that. That would have been the perfect time for you to tell me that he's the CEO of that company and that you both really do have money. All you have to say to me was that your husband is a CEO, and that would have ended everything I was saying. Then we never have to be asking you to let us into the wedding, and Wyatt could be discussing the next deal with your husband. You were the ones that called him a moneyless lowlife because I never wanted to be a housewife. There was never going to be a stop to what you were saying about us had I told you he's a CEO. Well, at this point, it's all impossible to change. So sorry that you lost the one and only chance to have your husband look good in front of all his superiors. Anyway, I have a wedding to get going with, so I'll talk to you another time. Wait, Tina! Even Wyatt is telling me that he had no clue that your husband is the CEO of that company. We had both never known about what your husband did for a living, and so there was no reason for us to act any other way than we had. I'm not sure what you mean by all of that, but what was your goal in talking to me the way you had been and treating my husband like he was nothing? I have no plans of letting you two into the wedding now. After all, you guys were the ones to cancel on us, right? And we had canceled before learning about what all was going to happen at the wedding today. All of that has nothing to do with the way you treated us. I have no need for family that is going to treat my husband and I like we're nothing more than bags of trash. I think I'm going to use this event as a way to finally cut ties with both you and Wyatt. I understand just how angry you are with us right now and why that is. But can you at least let my husband into the wedding hall? He's your own brother, Tina. Give him the chance to get his well-deserved promotion. I will not. What? Why not? Do you not feel bad for what you're doing to your brother right now? And I'd like to ask the same thing of him after the way he treated my husband and I. What? I want to know if he feels bad for calling his sister's husband a lowlife, and if he feels anything at all for canceling on our wedding. Honestly, he isn't even family to me anymore after what he pulled today. Did he really think it was a good idea to wait until the last moment to tell me that he was going to stay away from my wedding and call me moneyless? Well, I was the one that told you that, not him. Well, before this, I had invited the both of you out to see my husband and get to know him before we married. My husband had really wanted to meet the both of you back then. I think he knew that my brother was working with his company as partners, and he wanted to get him into a position with more responsibilities, but also more pay. But my brother gave the excuse that coming out to see my husband would be a waste of his time and money and never came. That's what my brother chose, not you. But had you told him that your husband is the CEO, then everything would be different now, right? All you needed to say was that your husband is the CEO. I didn't want my brother coming out to see my husband because of his chance of a promotion, though. I wanted him coming out to meet my husband because he's my family, and that would be the right thing to do. I knew that Wyatt would have to give up some of his time to come out and see us, but had he come, we would have told him then about how my husband's the CEO of the company he works with. But Wyatt chose to never come out and see his family, so that's that. This is all on him now, and he's responsible for not being allowed into my wedding anymore. No matter how much you both try to get yourselves let into my wedding, no matter how much your husband's promotion rides on it, you're not allowed in. You're going to act like this just because he never came out to see your husband before you married him? It's not just because of that, Lori. Before Wyatt was married to you, he was never that serious about his time and money. But now that you're his wife, he's changed into someone that's stingy and very judgmental of others based off of their income. He is always complaining about things, and it makes me miss my brother when he was single. Don't tell me that you only see my brother as your wallet, and that's why he's become so worried about money. That is not the problem at hand right now. Can't you see that the both of us have rushed all the way out here now because we see how serious the situation is now? Would you please let us in there so that we can be a part of the wedding? I'm telling you that you're both being pains in my butt. I'm no longer in the state of mind where I want to support the two of you any longer. So I'm not going to be letting either one of you into my wedding hall. What? You have to be lying, right? We are already waiting outside the main entrance to the wedding hall. There's a security guard standing at the door, and no matter how many times we tell him that Wyatt is your brother, he won't budge. Yeah, that's because I told him that's fine. The security guard is not to let either of you in. I don't think he'll be letting you anywhere near that door today. Now, I am in the middle of my wedding, so good day to you both. And, you can start thinking of me as a complete stranger now, so goodbye forever. Why did you not let either one of us into your wedding? Right now, Wyatt is pissed at me for everything and saying that I'm the only one to blame. He says that I began to talk way too much and ended up getting ourselves locked out. Well, there is that. But you could just explain to him that this also falls on his shoulders for tagging along with you and making fun of my husband and I and canceling on the wedding. Tell him that he's to blame just as much as you are because he allowed himself to be brainwashed by you. Well, either way, we're pretty much at that point now where I can say I'm cutting ties with the both of you. What? What are you talking about, Tina? I'm in a huge fight now with Wyatt because of what you did to us. You left us outside the wedding hall all day, so can you at least help me get out of this now? Huh? What makes you think you can ask me for help after all you've done? It's because of you and that wedding that my husband and I's relationship is going to fall apart. You're the only one that's able to fix things between us now after all of that. And I bet if you have your husband come as well and talk business with Wyatt, that Wyatt will begin to calm down more and start being nice to me again. Do you think you can do that for the both of us? I'm so glad that you still haven't learned anything from this and are coming to me asking for help. Makes me feel like I am better than you now. What do you mean? It's nothing. Just know that both my husband and I are finished with you both. No, what? Are you actually being serious about cutting ties with us both? Well, right now all I can see is a brother who doesn't even care enough about his little sister to come to her wedding and is viewed by all his superiors as an absolute screw-up. And my husband has already cut ties with you two, so there's really no need for me to talk with either of you anymore. Make sure to tell Wyatt that my husband is no longer willing to put in a good word for him either, so consider that promotion gone. What the hell, Tina? Are you really planning to let your own brother and I just crash like this? Do you and your husband not feel that you've gone way too far now? Wyatt has nothing to do with us anymore. He's just a stranger now. The weight that comes with making fun of my husband is very heavy. And we're going to make sure that after today, we never have to hear from or see either of you two again. And if your husband is to lose his position working with my husband's company for good, then you'll never have anything to do with us. Lose his position? Do you really think that Wyatt will be demoted over something like this? I never thought that the talks he was supposed to have at that wedding were so important. I'm sure that when his pay is cut with the demotion, you living as his housewife will no longer work anymore. And from that point on, you'll no longer think about calling other couples that work jobs at the same time lowlifes ever again, right? Poor things, you two. Now, enjoy whatever dwindling days you have left as a housewife, okay? You did a great job this time, and I hope you enjoy the life of being moneyless and depressed. And just as Tina had been explaining to Lori, her husband gave Wyatt's bosses a bad word about him, and he lost his position making deals with Tina's husband's company. Following that, he was then demoted to working the front desk of the office building and would be given a major pay cut with that. Because of that, he was no longer bringing in enough money for himself and Lori, which led to her then having to find a job as well. This then led to their relationship becoming increasingly strained as they spent day after day fighting one another. I'm sure that soon those two will begin to consider getting a divorce, but if that is to happen, Wyatt will be left with no wife, no sister, and a rather sad job. And as for Lori, well, I'm not really sure if she'll be left with much either, but that's totally okay.
Liz, because of what's going on, I'm gonna have to be blunt here. I'm not sticking around with an old grandma anymore.
Huh? What are you talking about?
I'm saying that I'd rather be with a young woman any day, as opposed to with you. I had been trying my best to stick around with you for a while now, but as I knew what would happen, I've reached my limit. So can we get a divorce?
What are you saying, Randy? Huh? Are you being serious right now?
I mean, Liz, you're already 39 years old, right? You and I are 9 whole years apart in age. Back when I had married you was a time in which I was excited to be with an older woman, and so were a lot of other men. But now I wonder why the hell I ever got married to you in the first place. Even your skin feels a lot worse than that of a young gal's. And so with that, let's get divorced.
Have you hit your head on something? You know all that I've done for you up until now, right? And do you know why I'm in the hospital right now?
I know why.
I'm here to give birth to our baby. Yet during this very important and stressful time of our life, you're going on about wanting a divorce?
A 39-year-old giving birth to a baby is really the most disappointing thing I've ever heard of.
What?
And that's why I'm asking for a divorce. I'm telling you right now that I have another woman that I love. And she's a young gal whose skin is as soft as cotton candy. So that little brat that you're gonna give birth to isn't gonna get any love from me.
Wait, Randy, can you not see how much of a jerk you're being right now? I've known for a bit now that you've been acting suspicious and probably had another lady, but I didn't think you'd drag all of that this far and into a relationship. What the hell are you talking about? I'm having a really hard time understanding what's going on with you. Is this all supposed to be a joke? Your timing is the worst for it. Why don't you go find somewhere to calm down a bit and rethink what you've just said to me?
Why don't I? Because while you've been in the hospital getting ready to give birth, I've moved out of the house.
Huh?
The apartment has been your place for the longest time now, even before I came, so it has nothing to do with me anymore. I moved all my things and myself out of there and left the divorce papers on the counter for you. Go ahead and fill the rest in for me and hand them in.
Are you kidding me? I just had your daughter, Randy. What the actual hell are you going on about? Calm down right now, please.
I'm calm right now, Liz. No matter how you try and get me to stay with you guys, I'm never gonna love that little brat of yours. That thing is none of my business. And I can't even believe that you thought about having a baby at your age in the first place.
You're being a monster right now. She's your daughter as well, right? And after all the effort I have put into carrying and birthing her, you're going to say awful things like that? I'm not going to forgive you for this.
I couldn't care less if you forgave me or not. I'm never going to be seeing you ever again after this, so have fun being upset with me.
You don't even plan to ever come to see your baby's girl's face? This has all got to be some sort of joke.
I told you plenty of times now that it's not a joke. This is all very real and not a dream. I don't have the confidence to love a baby that was birthed by some old grandma at the age of 39. I don't even want to know what the poor soul looks like after coming out of you, so hurry up and leave me when you get home.
Well, then I'm never letting you see the two of us ever again.
Thank God. Now I'm on my way to being a free man again. I'm gonna have a lot more fun in my second life. I was never going to stay with you once you turned 40, and having to raise that kid beside you would have been hell. Thank God you're okay with going away. Goodbye now, Grandma.
But can you promise one thing to me before you go?
What?
I'll agree with getting the divorce, but in return for that, you're never to come back to me or my daughter if you ever need any help.
I don't plan to ever see you guys again. There's no reason for me to in the first place, so I promise to never come around you two again. Is that what you wanted to hear?
Well, if you're going to promise me that, then we can get a divorce. And of course I'm going to be getting full custody of my daughter.
You can have it. I don't even want to think of that brat as being mine.
Alright then. You may be one of the worst men on the planet, but thank you for giving me my beautiful daughter. Now please never show your face around us again.
I never will. But that also means you and that brat can never come looking for me either. Bye-bye, Grandma.
Goodbye forever, you pile of trash.
It's been a while, Liz. I'm going to the wedding right now.
Excuse me? But who is this?
You know who I am. I'm the father of today's wedding bride. I've been looking forward to this wedding for a long, long time. And so today, I'm going to meet with her.
Hold on for a moment. What are you talking about? Do you still think that you're her father? Even after a whole 20 years have gone by and you've said nothing to either one of us. What are you trying to do by texting me all of a sudden?
I wanted to tell you that I'm going to that wedding. This is going to be a very emotional day for all of us when I finally get to see the daughter of mine that was taken from me.
Huh? I'm not quite sure how you even figured out where her wedding would be today, or that she was even getting married in the first place. But stop trying to be obnoxious by sending me all these texts.
Well, I'm the father of the bride, so I'm allowed to be at that wedding.
This is getting out of hand. Can you please open your eyes for a sec? Do not come over here. Did you forget about the promise you made to me 20 years ago that allowed me to divorce you? Hey, are you listening to me right now?
Why did that happen? Why was everyone being so crazy with me when I got in there? Is everyone at that wedding a freak? Tossing me out of my own daughter's wedding? I'm her frickin' father.
Is it time that you'll be willing to open your dang eyes finally? The way you came in looking like trash and causing all that embarrassment for my daughter. And another thing, you need to stop calling my daughter yours.
Why do I have to stop? She's my daughter too.
After not even being in the hospital room with me while I gave birth, you threw us out. And then you chased after a young woman and left us for a very long time. And after 20 years, you're all of a sudden back here trying to get into my daughter's wedding? I can't think of another reason as to why you're doing this besides that you really messed up with your head while you've been gone.
You could call me messed up all you want, but what else was I supposed to do today? That young gal lied to me and got me stuck with her and all of the debt she had. And so me being messed up right now is not my dang fault. I was lied to and played for a fool. I didn't plan on turning into a bum after I left you.
I don't care what happened with you and that girl because I don't care about you. You're a stranger to us all, and you said you'd never come back to us, right? You promised that. She has no clue who you are, and she even said that to your face today.
And that was screwed up big time. That is not something she should ever say to her parents. Have you not been raising her properly this whole time? Are you sure this is all because you're too old and can't handle kids?
What? What the hell are you trying to do right now after saying things like that about my daughter and I? You're blaming my way of raising her because she was so worried by some random men coming into her wedding and having him thrown out? I don't want to hear that crap out of your mouth ever again after you left us when she was only just born. If you want to know who's really at fault for today, I'd say your parents are because they obviously didn't raise you right. Well, at this point, I'm sure you already know, and so do your parents.
I want to know who that man is. And the father of the... What's that all about?
Huh? That's the man I got married to. Are you acting as though I needed to tell you anything about him, though? Do you still not see that you have no right being around us right now?
Why was that man that you married sitting in the seat that was labeled for the bride's father? That's my frickin' seat. If you start pissing me off any more than I already am, things are gonna get scary for you. Go tell those 2 idiot security guards that I'm okay and let me come sit there.
Why are you getting upset with me for no reason? Do you think that making threats like that will get me worked up?
What?
I'm really worried about what's gotten into you that's made you so screwed in the head. You're the one that threw us away years ago, right? And after 20 years of realizing how badly you messed up, you came on my daughter's biggest day looking like garbage to do what? Why the hell are you here, Randy? And why do you think you have any right to be here? Do you need something from us? Tell me right now.
You're the real piece of garbage for getting married again without telling me. I came back here to get my family back together.
Get your family back together? Huh? Do you think that my daughter and I are your family or something, Randy? We have a new family now, and you're not part of it. All you are is some stranger that we're starting to think might need to visit a psych ward. I don't want to hear anything about how upset you are that I got married again when you were the one that got divorced to me to run off with a young woman. I think you better zip that mouth of yours and keep it zipped.
Give me that seat back. She's my daughter.
Come on, Randy. It was nice of you to make me laugh a little, but your joke is getting old now. You have never even met my daughter before, so why do you keep thinking that she's your daughter after it's been 20 years? I think the only reason you've come out here for her is because you're broke. And so, this is all out of desperation now. That kind of thinking is only something a complete lunatic would have.
You don't have to take it that far. I am a bit worried about money right now, but I didn't come today for that reason.
Then, what's your reason for being here? Tell me right now.
I had heard that she was going to get married, and so I asked a friend about it that knows her, and she told me that the wedding would be taking place close by, so I thought it would be okay for me to come and see it. I was hoping for a very dramatic reunion after 20 years of never seeing any of you. I wanted us to all be crying out of happiness for being able to see one another again. But now that things have become so hectic, I have no idea what I'm doing here anymore. I had believed that we could all talk about each other's lives again.
Wait, why did you think that we'd all be open arms to you? There's no reason for us to be, right? There was no way this was going to turn into some sort of dramatic reunion. Have you even noticed the contradiction there is in your plan?
What?
You have never even met my daughter before.
And why does that mean anything? How would that contradict anything in my plans for today? I'm her father, and so she should be all happy and crying to see me.
You act like this would be a reunion with her, but this was her first time ever seeing you. Asking to have a dramatic reunion when you need to introduce yourself to her first? How come you thought this would actually play out so well for you?
Now that you say it back to me, I'm sure it would have been odd. But that's not all. She's my daughter, right?
I'm too tired to talk with you anymore about this. Did you think that being related to her by blood made you her father? I'm sorry, Randy, but my husband has been with my daughter since she was 3 years old and has helped me raise her since then. And so she calls my husband the father. And there's no changing that now. To her, it does not matter whether she's related to her by blood or not.
There's no way. That's a freaking lie.
You don't have to be able to believe it, but we all think that we're a family, and you can't do a thing about that. So, you can say what you want about us, but don't think it's going to bother us. We have nothing to do with you after all.
Even if she does see him as her father, she should still be a little curious about her real father, right? That's the whole reason I came here today to see her. Does me being here on her wedding day not make her really happy?
I think she does want to know more about her real father. It's normal for anyone to want to get to know their real parents if they never grew up knowing them. But I think after today, she no longer wants to get to know you.
Huh? Why?
You're asking me? Ha! Are you really that dense? You came into her wedding in some raggedy clothes and covered in what looks like soot. And you made a complete fool of yourself, embarrassing her on her wedding day. That right there might have just scarred her a little.
Scarred her? Why would that scar her any?
She's told me that she never wants you coming around her again now. Of course, she doesn't want you here anymore. And even after the wedding, she doesn't want you showing up. If you do come around her, or the rest of us again, we're calling the police and having you arrested. My husband knows a lot of the police officers in town, so he can make things happen quickly. So having you eradicated is all too easy for us.
Why would you do something like that to me? I only came here to see my daughter's wedding.
You just want the money that her husband has, right? And that's why we had you kicked out of there.
I don't know anything about her husband's money. Why would I know anything about that?
I can see that things are still not lining up in your reasoning. Well, it doesn't matter if you came here for his money or not, because he really has nothing to do with you. You're just the average bum to him is all. You ended up ruining your own life chasing after young girls. And that's why you came to this wedding today, hoping for some kind of money or something. Disgusting. You have nothing you can do to us now, so get lost.
I never thought you'd say such things to me. Does my daughter think the same thing of me?
You don't even know my daughter's name. So what do you think? I think after what you've seen today, you should finally understand, right? She doesn't want you around her anymore. You're just a ghost to her that hasn't been alive for the past 20 years. So you can stop trying to get involved with our lives. Now, goodbye.
Wait, please! Her husband has a lot of money then. Can you ask him just to give me a small amount? I just need enough to help myself get back on my own 2 feet again.
No, this was about money. Huh. You deserve to have no money, Randy, so I wouldn't want you getting spoiled by anyone. It was you, after all, that made your life the way it is now, right? So stop whining about not having money when you asked for it in the first place. Haha.
After that, Randy wasn't only thrown out of the wedding and never let back into it, but after throwing a huge fit in front of the wedding hall, the police came and gave him a citation for public disturbance. And after that, Liz and her family told the police that he'd been causing trouble for them all day, and now he's not allowed anywhere near them or else the police will arrest him, as Liz, her husband, and her daughter all put a restraining order on him. Once that had all played out, Randy was still left with a large amount of debt, and slowly began to fall victim to it. I think he's finally starting to regret everything he did in the end to Liz and her daughter. But to be honest, him regretting things now is way too late, and he should have been regretting what he's done a whole lot sooner when he may still have a chance with Liz.
Right now I'm in the middle of shopping for groceries. And what about you, Dominic?
I'm heading home to my parents' house. I've decided to make them my main priority now.
Your priority? What are you talking about?
I want to be back with my parents now, living in their house and spending time around them.
What? Why are you planning to live back there with them now? What about us here?
You will come with me and live with my parents here as well. Why would you ask such a stupid question?
But you can't just make a decision like that so quickly. I have a lot of things going on myself, and some of those things might require me to stay at our home.
What? Are you going to listen to what I'm saying then? Who is the one you should be thanking for giving you the life you have? I am the one you should be thanking. It's because of me that both you and our son, who can't support yourselves on your own, are even able to have a roof over your heads.
I understand that it's due to your income that we're all able to have a house and food on the table. But why are you wanting to go back and live with your parents now, out of nowhere?
Because my mom is 65 years old now, and my dad is planning on retiring soon. I can tell that pretty soon, his body isn't going to be working so well. So there has to be someone close to them to take care of them.
But the last time we were over at their house seeing them, they both seemed to be doing very well by themselves. I really don't think we should be forcing ourselves to move back with them and live there quite yet.
And if something really bad were to happen to one of them, would you be able to take responsibility for it?
No, I wouldn't be able to.
Then let's do as I've said. No matter what else you have to say to me, we're going back to live with my parents.
But what about your job? It'll take way too long for you to get into work every day from their house. They live so far away from here.
Well, about that.
Right? That's why we can't just get up and move all the way out to their house like you're wanting to. I'll make sure when I have more time to myself that I use it going over to their house to check up on them, okay? Will that help you relax a little?
Alright.
Thank you. Can you please go and tell your parents that?
I've decided that starting tomorrow, we're going to go back and live with my parents at their house. We're all going to be moving out of here, so come back home and start getting all of our things ready to go.
What are you talking about, Dominic?
What? Do you not remember anything from the last time we talked? We were both talking about how I wanted all of us to move back home to my parents' house. You couldn't have forgotten about all of that yet.
Wait, I do remember all of that. But we ended that conversation saying we didn't need to move back with them, right? There was the whole issue regarding you getting to work every day from their house.
And I've made sure to fix all of that myself.
Fix all of that? How were you able to do that?
Don't be so surprised by what I can do. I asked my company if they'd let me transfer to another office.
Transfer offices?
That's right. There's a smaller office closer to my parents' house, and that's where I asked them to move me to.
Why would you take all of that this far?
Shut it, Bailey! I told you that we were going to move in with my parents, and that's what I've been trying to do. Luckily, my higher-ups allowed me to transfer out of the main office, so starting tomorrow, I'll be working from that smaller office.
Wait! Why would you keep all of this from us? Something as important as that has been going on with you, and you were going to hide it from your son and I until the very last minute? What about your parents? I'm sure your mom is shocked to hear about what you've done, right?
Don't worry about it. I made sure to let my mom and dad know this was happening way before I told you.
You're kidding, right? So it was just your own family that you were hiding all of that from?
That's right. I knew you'd be whining about it all the time, so I made sure to never tell you a thing.
I cannot believe this, Dominic. What the hell were you thinking? Why would you do something like that to us?
You guys are both very important to me. But you're not my family. You're both my subordinates. I am the one that has been supporting the both of you with my income, right? So it's only fair I view the both of you as below me.
What the hell?
Now, as for right now, you head home and start getting all of your things together, and then make your way over to my parents' house. And once you're moved in, I want you to start learning about all the chores you're going to be taking on from my mom. Do you understand that? I am not going to let you start cooking crappy food for everyone in my parents' home.
The fact that we have to move now? Well, there's no other choice, I guess. You already transferred to another office, so you have to be closer to it in order to commute now.
That's right. And that's why you need to get your butt moving.
But having to live with your mom and dad is a bit...
What? Are you trying to tell me you don't want to come and live with my parents now?
That's not what I'm saying, but can't we at least move into our own place close to them? We can find an apartment close to their house to stay at. That way, whenever your parents do need help, we'll be right there. Is that a bad choice to you?
You already know that's a bad choice. I want you to live back in my parents' house with them. There is no way I'd choose to move her to any other place but their house. Now quit your yapping and hurry it up with the packing you need to get done.
Hey, wait! Jace, are you doing all right now?
I am. Why do you ask?
Well, actually, it looks like we're going to have to move out of the house.
What? Why do we have to move all of a sudden?
Well, your dad, he chose to change locations for work without ever asking either one of us if it'd be okay first. And because of that, he wants us moving in with Grandpa and Grandma now.
I knew it. Dad is always so selfish when it comes to things regarding the whole family.
I'm so sorry about this.
You don't have to apologize to me for what he's been doing. You're just as much a victim as I am right now, and I feel bad seeing you say things like that to me.
No, you don't have to worry about me. I've gotten kind of used to your dad and how much he loves to make the choices in the house. But this time, he really took things a bit too far.
Having to move in with Grandpa and Grandma now. I guess Dad has no idea that I'm not going to be able to live in a house like theirs, right?
I guess he doesn't remember anything from what happened way back then.
I know he doesn't remember a single thing from it. That guy doesn't give a crap about either you or I, Mom, and it's far too easy to tell him that.
I tried to ask him if it'd be alright for us to move into a place close to Grandpa and Grandma's.
I'm sure he said no to that, right?
Yeah.
Would it be impossible for just you and I to continue living in this house while he moves back to their house?
I think so. The person paying for the rent of this apartment has always been your dad.
I see. What am I going to do here?
Calm down a bit.
Huh?
I'll make sure nothing happens to you, alright?
But we have no other choice but to move into that house with everyone else, right?
Don't worry about that. For the time being, let's both you and I just get all the packing taken care of before we make the move.
Hey, how's it all going? Have you been making good progress? Getting everything packed and ready to go?
Hey, listen, there are a lot of things packed up, so it's been a bit difficult moving everything. Where are you at right now? I'd really like it if you came here and helped us out.
Are you freaking kidding me? You know dang well that every day I have to be at work making money for us. Unlike you, I'm actually out here working my butt off instead of just moping around the house.
You do understand that I'm always getting all the chores done in the house, right? I have never once had the time to just mope around all day.
Anybody can do chores, Bailey. Hell, even I could, if I really wanted. So stop trying to make yourself look all strong and powerful by saying you do a little cleaning.
Then I'm going to have to be the one to work with the moving people and make sure all the paperwork is filled out so that they can take our things to the right address, right?
Of course. Stop talking about all of that like you wouldn't be the one dealing with it. You really are such an idiot. And let me just say this right now. Even if getting everything ready to go is difficult for you, don't you dare slack off from the rest of your chores. When I get back home, dinner better be ready for me still. And the bath better be hot and ready for me as well.
But I don't have the time to get to all of that. Can we just have takeout for dinner tonight?
Are you kidding? If you're not even able to get the chores and cooking done for me, then you have literally no use to me anymore. Now quit with all that jabber and do as I tell you.
I knew it. So that's the way you think of me, as your wife.
What was that? Do you have something else you want to complain about now?
No, nothing really.
Then you listen to what I've said and do it.
Understood. I'll do everything to the best of my ability.
Get it all taken care of, you moron.
Where are you right now, Dominic?
Why are you asking me something like that right now?
Well, it's the day you planned for us to all move, yet I haven't been able to find you anywhere.
I'm sure that's the case for you. Because I've already gone to my parents' house and am here with them right now.
What? You already went there by yourself and never told either myself or Jace?
That's right. And what's your problem with that?
Well, the moving truck is on its way over right now, so I was expecting that you'd be here to help load the things onto it.
Why should I have to be the one to do all of that physical work for you? You and those movers take care of it all yourselves.
Is that what you want? So you really don't plan on doing anything to help us out, do you?
I'm not doing anything. I don't need to be doing it all. And by the way, do you remember what you have to do once you've moved in here with us?
What?
You need to clean. I want you to clean up all of my parents' house.
You want me to clean up that massive house all by myself the moment we get moved in?
Well, of course I do. Who the hell else would be taking care of all that?
Well, hasn't your mom been the one keeping up with all of that while you and I have been living here?
And I told you already that she's too old now to have to be doing all of that. Cleaning is getting pretty hard on her body. So the only person that can do all of that cleaning in her place is you. So you're going to clean.
So what you're saying is that I've pretty much got to do everything for everyone now.
That's exactly right. Besides cleaning and cooking, there's no other use for you.
Is that how you really feel about me?
Huh? What's wrong with me thinking that about you?
Nothing. I just wanted to make sure that was the case. Now, I have to work on getting us moved out of this house. See you later.
Hey, how much longer do you plan on keeping me waiting?
What are you going on about?
It's already past 2 p.m. now. It's way past the time that all of our things should be arriving at my parents' house.
Oh, is that so? I don't happen to be one of the movers, so I'm not sure about any of that.
Bailey, where are you right now?
I'm at the house.
Huh? It's been 4 hours now, and you're still over at that old house? What the hell are you thinking? I really can't use you for anything, can I?
What are you so confused about, Dominic? I'm not talking about that old place. I'm talking about this new house that I've moved into.
A new house? What are you even going on about, Bailey? Have you lost your mind now or something?
No, I'm 100% here and in the present. Both myself and Jace have moved into a new house. All of our things have already arrived at this new house for us, and we've already begun unpacking everything. Why is it taking you so long to get over here?
Whoa, wait a dang second! Have you actually moved into a new house without ever getting my permission?
I have.
What the hell is going on here? I never heard a thing about this from either of you.
I could have sworn I said something to you about it, though. I said I preferred us moving into an apartment close by to your parents' house.
And I told you no to that option.
And I told you no to living in that house with your parents. Yet you continued to think that we would all just move into there anyway with them. So if that's how things were going to be, then it shouldn't be a problem that I got myself this apartment and moved into here without taking your veto into consideration.
No. But you never mentioned anything to me yesterday about how you'd be moving into that new apartment.
I know. And that's because I didn't have any plans of telling you. I've already gone ahead and found an apartment that we can live in month to month without having to sign a yearly contract.
You stop all of that! Do you think I'm just going to let you and Jace live in that place instead of coming here?
I don't need you to let us do anything, Dominic. Jace and I discussed all of this and decided on moving into here. So don't try and tell us we can't live here.
Then what about the things that should be moved into this house?
Go ahead and handle all your things yourself.
What? Are you being serious right now?
Well, of course I'm being serious. I've had enough of these games with you, so the only things I'll be saying now are very serious.
Crap! Just a second ago, my things came for me.
Well, isn't that wonderful for you? I suppose the movers were just caught up in traffic or something like that?
I'm not worried about that anymore, though. So you're not kidding about wanting for the two of us to live in completely different places now, then?
I was saying that just a little bit ago.
So you're really not going to listen to anything I've been saying?
And so what?
Do you have no idea what you've done to us by doing all of that?
Are you going to start whining about how what I've done is the cause of all our problems? If you're going to start pulling that, then I'll take action myself.
No. I'm not trying to fight you on anything right now.
Then what do you want to tell me?
I'm just trying to say that the reason I chose to have us move back in with my parents is for all of our sakes. I want you to understand that, Bailey!
For all our sakes? You mean just for your parents' sake, right? I mean, you were telling me about how Jace and I aren't even family to you.
You have it all wrong. I made this choice thinking about the both of you.
Stop it with the lies, all right? If you were thinking about us, then why did you never actually come to us and discuss what you wanted?
And I know now that I was wrong for doing that. But come on, just think about it a little. If you guys come back and live with my parents and I, then we'll never have to pay rent. To us, this is a huge plus, and it'll really help us all out.
You must have a really messed up head there. You would make all the effort to change offices and everything just so that we didn't have to pay rent anymore? It's not even like you were having any trouble paying the rent with your income, Dominic.
But this was also about saving up money for Jace's future and all that.
What is he going to do about school? If he moves back into that house with you and your parents, then he's not going to be able to make it to his high school every day. Are you going to ask him to change schools and leave all his friends?
Well, about that, yeah.
Wow, so you haven't been thinking about us.
What has Jace had to say about all of this? Has he been saying he hasn't wanted to move in with his grandparents?
You think he'd actually want to move at his age?
No, I know for a fact that you're just manipulating him into thinking and saying that he doesn't want to move here.
If that's what you think, then why not ask him yourself what he thinks?
I will then. I will.
Jace, let's have a little talk. What do you want? I'm really busy right now.
You, right now, you're with Mom at the new apartment, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Is that really what you want for yourself?
What are you trying to get at here, Dad?
For a long time now, you've never been the one to speak for yourself, right? I'm trying to see if you're just being forced to do as your mom has told you right now.
What?
Well, I mean, you've always loved your grandma, and you should want to live with her, right? She has really been looking forward to you moving in with her. So what do you think? Alright? Go ahead and tell me how you really feel right now, Jace. I won't bite back. You can tell me everything, and your dad will be all ears.
Are you sure you want to hear everything?
Of course I'm sure.
Well then, here I go with the truth. I would like to live in this new apartment with Mom, and only Mom.
Jace, you really don't have to worry about what Mom is making you say and think.
I don't have to worry? I haven't been worrying about that though, Dad. Actually, I'm so happy to finally be living in a house away from you.
What's happened to you, Jace? You were never the kind of kid who would say something like that to his dad.
And what exactly do you know about the real me? That's right. You don't know a single thing about the person I am.
I sure do know things about you. And when I chose to have us all move back in with your grandparents, I did so thinking of you.
Really? So it was for me then, was it?
Of course it was. To me, you are the most important part of this family.
Then, do you remember what happened to me the last time I went to that house and stayed with Grandpa and Grandma?
What are you talking about?
You don't remember. I had to be taken away from there in an ambulance and spent some time in the hospital.
Now that you mention it, I do remember something like that.
No, you don't. You don't remember a thing about what happened to me.
But I'm sure the only reason you had to go to the hospital from their house is because you became sick, right?
Nope. For some reason I had an allergic reaction, and it became really hard for me to breathe.
An allergic reaction?
Did you know that I'm allergic to mites? When I was last over at their place, the carpet and bedding was filled with them, all crawling around. And that's why I had such a bad allergic reaction. So ever since that day, I have not been able to go back to Grandpa and Grandma's house. But of course, you wouldn't know anything about that, because you never cared about me.
I do remember that though.
You do? And yet you've been trying so hard to have me move into that house and live there? What is that all about? Are you trying to show me how much you hate me or something?
No, not at all. You have that totally wrong, Jace.
I've had enough of this, Dad. I have things I need to take care of now. Don't bother ever trying to talk to me again, okay?
How was it? Were you able to get him to listen to what you were trying to say?
Who cares about that kid? It's all because of you and your rude character that brat has turned into a real pain in the butt.
Hey, don't you dare talk about my son that way. That kid is a very kind and affectionate young man who I happen to love very much.
What about him is kind? That stupid brat.
All right then. I can see there is no getting anywhere with you anymore, Dominic.
Do you really plan for just the two of you to live over there in that new apartment from now on?
Yes, that's the plan.
Well, I'm not going to help you pay for anything then. And when you come back crying to me later, I'm not going to give you crap.
I will never come crying to you about anything.
Well then, what are you going to do? How are you going to be able to feed the brat when you don't make any money?
Do you really still believe that I'm not making any money?
Huh? What are you talking about? There's no way you've been making any money when you've been staying at home the whole time I've been married to you.
Well, I'll have you know that ever since college, I've been running my own blog online.
What are you talking about?
On there, I've been showing everyone the kinds of clothing I like to wear and the kinds of cosmetics that work for me. And a few years ago, I started to gather a pretty large following, and because of that, I became affiliated in some things. So as of right now, I've had plenty of sponsors.
You've had sponsors? Hey, you explain to me right now what the hell you're talking about.
As of right now, I have been running an online store where I sell the kinds of clothing and cosmetic brands that I'm sponsored by. And that's the way I've been bringing in money of my own.
You have your own shop? You?
I do. And I'm making way more from the sponsors that I have than you are with your current job. But I knew saying something about my current work would destroy the pride you've had, so I've kept it all a secret from you.
You're lying about all that.
I'm sure you won't believe what I'm telling you right now, but this is all the truth. So there is no reason for me to rely on you for money anymore. If anything, Jace and I are going to be living far better off now than you.
So, you're being serious then?
Yes, I sure am. So you can go ahead and stop worrying about either one of us here and put all your time into caring for your parents.
I get it now. I give up. I can see now that everything that's happened here is because of me. But please, don't forget that I made all these decisions while thinking about you two.
How the hell does changing work locations and moving out of the house without ever talking to us about it make me believe you were thinking of us?
At the very least, I was thinking about Jace when I made these choices.
Even after what had happened to him while he stayed at your parents' house before? You want me to believe him living with them again was for his sake? You're joking, right?
That allergy that he was talking about was all in his head. By now, he should be well enough to come live here.
Unbelievable. You think that his allergy is all in his head? Shut the hell up, Dominic. The only reason you're even able to say something as cruel as that about him is because you've never understood just how little you've cared about your own dang son.
No, I do care about him.
No, you don't. Back when he had to be rushed to the hospital, you never even came to see him. You told me it was a pain to have to leave work to go see your own son as he was suffering an allergic reaction.
I only said that because I thought you were just going to throw a fit or something at the hospital.
Bullcrap. I had every reason to be worked up over our son because he could have died that day.
And anyway, I'm not going to allow my family to live in two separate houses.
Then what are you going to do?
I'm going to bring my parents and I to that apartment to live with you guys. Then there shouldn't be any problems, right?
No way. I am not okay having 5 people living in this apartment.
Then let's move to a place where all 5 of us can live there.
We are all family, right? And as a family, we have to stick together at all times.
And I believe the exact same thing when it comes to family.
Perfect! Then can you please tell me the address of your apartment?
No thanks.
Why the hell not?
Because you aren't family to me. I have no reason to be telling a stranger where my son and I are living.
Huh? What are you going on about now, Bailey? Did you just say I'm a stranger to you?
I'm sure if I don't tell you straight, you'll never be able to understand what I mean. I'm going to divorce you. I'll make sure to have all the papers and everything sent to your parents' house later. I'd like you to take those documents and go to the courthouse to hand them in once you've filled them out.
Whoa, wait a minute, please. What the hell is this about? A divorce? This is way different from what we're normally talking about.
Oh, I don't think so. You continue to do things only for yourself, and that's gone and killed any of the love I had left for you. And that's why I want a divorce now. None of this is any different from what's been going on already.
Just calm down, alright? Jace is still in high school, Bailey. Do you have any idea how he might feel when he finds out his mom wants a divorce?
I'm sorry, but Jace has already agreed with me divorcing you.
Liar! There's no way he'd be alright with something like that.
Unfortunately for you, though, he told me straight to my face that he's happy that I want to leave you. Well, once you've calmed down a bit, perhaps you can go ask him about that yourself. I'm sure he's going to tell you the exact same thing I'm saying now.
No way.
Also, I'm going to be getting a settlement from you in the divorce.
A settlement? What makes you think you can do that when you're the only one wanting this divorce in the first place? I am never going to let you get any money from me.
It's not about you letting me get any or not. It's about what the court is going to say. Do you have any idea about any of the things you've done to me while we've been married? You have shown more than once that you feel as though you have all the power in the family and that you can abuse it to get whatever you want from me. That is more than enough to allow me to get a settlement from you.
I haven't been trying to harass you or anything, though.
Then go and take a look at all the texts you've sent me before. I think after taking a read through everything, you'll have a better idea of what you've been trying to do to me. Then I won't have to explain anything to you about it, right?
But there's no way.
Now I'm going to get myself a lawyer to talk to, and after today, you can talk with them if you have anything else to say to me. I don't want you to ever contact me directly again.
Hey, wait! Can you at least listen to one last thing from me?
No, thank you. If you have anything else to say to me, then talk with my lawyer about it. I made sure to tell him everything. I think he and I will be getting the divorce really soon.
I see. That's great to hear.
It sure is great. I feel so much better now having said everything.
I'm sorry about all you've had to go through with him.
What? Oh, why are you apologizing to me for that?
The only reason you've been having to deal with that guy for so long is in order to protect me, right? I've always been a kid to you, and that's why you put up with this crap, right?
Well, you are right about that, but...
That's why I'm apologizing to you for that. Also, thank you. From now on, I'm going to be the one supporting and protecting you, okay?
You're an idiot. You really don't have to think about me that much. I just want you to be around me, and that's enough to make me happy and show me you care. In the end, I was able to get the divorce from Dominic with no issues. And after everything was over between us, he started to have some real troubles with his money. Had he just had to pay for the settlement and the last few years of child support, he would have been just fine. But that didn't seem to be all that he had to deal with. Right after the divorce, his dad ended up having a stroke and passed out in their house. After that, he was left paralyzed on his whole left side and required a lot of Dominic's time to be taken care of. Dominic was left having to pay for both his dad to be treated for the stroke and the care he'd need to receive afterwards. With everything put together, he really had no room to pay for himself or anything else in his life, requiring him to take out some loans. In order to try making more money again, he asked his higher-ups to let him move back to the main office. But this time, they weren't so kind towards his request. As of right now, Dominic is really regretting ever asking his bosses to move him to the office closer to his parents, and I'm sure those regrets will never stop.